to City on a Hill Kids Church Online.
I'm Lola.
And I'm Jimmy.
Today we're going to be finishing off our series about prayer.
But that will be after a time of worship.
I'm trading my sorrow. I'm trading my shame. I'm laying them down for the joy of the Lord. I'm trading my sickness. I'm trading my pain. I'm laying them down for the joy of the Lord. We say yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord. Yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord. Yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord, amen. I'm pressed but not crushed, persecuted, not abandoned, struck down but not destroyed. I'm blessed beyond the curse, for His promise will endure, and His joy is gonna be my strength. Though the sorrow may last for the night, His joy comes in the morning. I'm trading my sorrow. I'm trading my shame. I'm laying it down for the joy of the Lord. I'm trading my sickness. I'm trading my pain. I'm laying it down for the joy of the Lord.
This week we are continuing in our series about prayer, knowing how we go about praying. Remember, we're using the acronym P.R.A.Y. P.R.A.Y. P stands for pause. R stands for rejoice. A stands for ask. And today we are looking at Y, which stands for yes. But what does yes mean? It means to agree. It means to accept. It means to go along with something or someone. And what are we agreeing to here when we talk about prayer? Well, we'll find out as we go along in today's episode. Remember what we said about the thoughts that God has for us. The thoughts that God has for us are thoughts of good, not of evil, not of anything that will be a disaster. Thoughts that will give us hope, a good future. These things are not just thoughts. Because God does things for us in these thoughts. God always has our backs. We're so used to liking or loving people who do things for us. We sometimes couldn't really be bothered about those that we don't know, those that don't do anything for us. Not in a bad way, it's just the way it is. I'll let you a bit into my thoughts. Why should God always have my back or your back? I haven't done anything special for Him, but I'll let you know that He loved us, loved you, loved me first. Because of this love, because God so loved the world, He sent His only begotten Son, and that those who believe in Him will not perish but have everlasting life. Now, putting all these things together, Him loving me, loving us, Him having thoughts that are good towards us, towards me, towards you, and him always having our backs, why wouldn't I love him? Why wouldn't I pause and listen and see what he has to tell me or to show me? Why would I not rejoice and praise him? And why would I not ask him for things for myself and others? And why would I not say yes for him to lead me in the way he wants me to lead my life? And I'm talking about me. It's the same thing with you, because he loves you. He has your back too. And his thoughts for you are good. So why would you not do all these things, including saying yes, agreeing for him to lead you? I think I will certainly trust him leading me, and I think you should too. Now, there's a story, in fact, there are lots of stories in the Bible about people who have said yes to God. And I'll just give you one of these stories, and it's from Genesis, and it's about a man named Noah. So, in those days, people were mean. They were horrible. They were horrible to each other. They were horrible to themselves, and they were horrible to God. And God wasn't very happy with all this. And he decided that he was going to start all over again when it comes to the creation of human beings. And what he decided to do was that he was going to send a flood to the earth to wash off all the bad people. But there was one man who wasn't like the rest, and God spoke with him. This man's name was Noah. God told Noah that he was going to send a flood, and that Noah should build a big boat, an ark, that was going to carry him and animals and save them from the flood. So, of course, Noah believed God, he trusted God, and did what God asked him to do. And in the process, he was telling people about what God had told him and what was expected to come. And of course, they laughed at him. And that's because they had never seen rain before, and they had never seen a flood. So they laughed at Noah when he talked about the rain and the flood. They also laughed at Noah at the huge ark that he was building. And when the day came, God brought animals to Noah to take into the ark. He brought 7 pairs of clean animals, male and female, 2 pairs of unclean animals, male and female. And then he also sent a pair of all sorts of birds, male and female. And then Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, and their wives went into the ark with all these animals, and God shut the door. For 40 days and for 40 nights, it rained. It rained and rained and rained. And also, water came out from underneath the ground, from the seas, from the oceans, from the lakes, and even the waters that were under the ground, and filled the earth. And the entire earth was flooded way above the tallest mountain. Meanwhile, Noah and his entire family and all those animals were safe inside the ark. What do you think happened to all the people that didn't get onto the ark? There's a lot more to this story, and you can read it in the book of Genesis, or you can have someone read it to you. Now, this story shows us how Noah said yes to God. And because of that, he saved himself and his entire family. Let's not forget about the animals that he saved too. As I said, there are many more people in the Bible who said yes to God? Can you think of any? Will you say yes to God? Well, today, that's the end of the story.
Hey guys, how are you doing? Wow, I have loved this series on prayer. And are you ready, like Ivy was teaching us and like Noah did, to say, yes, Lord, at the end of your prayer? Let's all try that. Yes, Lord. Well, look, I've made a poster that says just that, yes, Lord, for us to put up somewhere to remind us each day that we can say yes to God. So, this is really nice and simple. First of all, you need some white paper or whatever colour you want the hands to be, and we're going to draw around our hands. So first, we're going to draw around our left hand, and for most of us, if we're right-handed, this is a bit easier. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw around our hand with all our fingers separate. So you're going up and down between all your fingers around your thumb, like that. And now we're going to put our right hand on, and this is a bit trickier for those of us who are right-handed, because now I'm drawing with my left hand, and this time the only finger that I need to draw separately is around my pointing finger. So I'm going around my pointing finger and then of course around my thumb, because that sticks out separately. So there we are. Do you see? I've got all my fingers together apart from my pointing finger. Now, once you've drawn those, then you want to cut them out. Okay, so here you can see this was my left hand with the fingers all separate, and my right hand with just the pointing finger. So rub out any pencil lines that are still on there from when you drew around, and then we're going to take some glue, and for the hand with all the fingers separate, what we're going to do is we're going to stick those fingers down like that to make like a thumbs up. Okay, so you can just put some glue across where the fingers are going to stick down. There we are. Stick those all down there. Now I don't really like that sharp edge there, so I'm just going to smooth that off. There we go. And then for the other hand, what we're going to do is we're going to bend down the fingers and the thumb across like that to make like a pointing up to God. And so I'm just going to stick down those fingers and then the thumb coming in over the top. There we go. So here we have it. We've got yes, Lord. Now we need a backing piece of paper, and you can choose any colour that you like. I've got some yellow here, and we're going to stick down our hands, and you can obviously have them facing whichever way, but I think it looks good if for the yes you've got the fingers facing towards you, and for the Lord you've got them facing away from you, because that's kind of the way you would do it if you were looking at yourself. So we'll just put some glue on here and stick down my thumbs up for yes, and then some glue on at this side and stick down my pointing up into the air for Lord. I think I'll just stick down that finger so it doesn't flatten out too much. There we go. And now all we need is our words. And on this one, you can see what I've done is I've cut out the Y from paper just to make it really stand out. So let's do that. So we'll just draw the Y for yes. Now, a Y is obviously a symmetrical shape, so you want it to be the same both ways around. So we'll cut across the top. It also means that you can draw it on one side and then stick it down the other way up, and it will look the same. Okay, so there we are. I've got my Y, but I can stick it on the pencil-y side. Get all this out of the way. So there we are, Y. And then I'm just going to write in an orange because I think it goes nicely. ES for yes. And then LORD. A very simple message. yes, Lord. And what a great thing to say at the end of your prayer time. Maybe you've heard God, you know what he's asking you to do, you know the things, the plans that he has for you, and you are ready to say yes. Well, I hope you have enjoyed doing crafts over this prayer series. I certainly have, and I can't wait to be back with you next week. It's going to be the summer holidays, and we have a whole new set of crafts to enjoy. I'll see you then. Bye!
And it's a wrap
Why'd you say that?
because we finished the series on how to pray using the acronym P.R.A.Y. P.R.A.Y.
Oh, Jamie, that's true. Today we looked at the last letter in our acronym, Y, which stood for yes. Agreeing and accepting all that God has planned for us and for him to lead our lives.
I think that saying yes to God is a no-brainer. I would definitely say yes to someone that always has my back and for someone who is always looking out for me.
Yes, but I must say that sometimes it is a bit challenging to understand what God is trying to say to us. Like Noah in the story, I don't think Noah would have ever thought that rain would have fallen from the sky because it's never happened before, and yet he obeyed.
I know, right? I bet you can wrap his head around the whole world being flooded and all at the same time. Even me here, I've seen floods in the Chile, but only in bits of the world, but not all over the world at the same time.
That's right, Jamie. But Noah said yes and obeyed God and saved not only him, but his family and the animals.
It's a good idea to say yes to God. I would definitely say yes to him.
Me too. Would you guys at home say yes to God too? That's it for this week.
Till next time,
Bye.